hormones are extremely important for the human body. They communicate hunger and satiety. Gut hormones receive signals from the GI tract that get sent from the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus regulates neurons that send appetite-stimulating and inhibiting messages. So, what are some examples of these gut hormones? PYY plays a role in energy regulation by reducing food intake. They're released in the highest state after a meal in the peripheral cells of the GI tract. They can remain elevated for up to 6 hours. Protein-rich meals have the highest increase of PYY. They are considered to have an anorectic effect, meaning a no appetite effect. Therefore, protein-rich meals create the highest levels of satiety. GLP is released during high levels of glucose, for example, like after eating a Hershey's candy bar. It releases insulin to break down glucose in the blood, thus reducing blood glucose levels. Also, like many orexigenic hormones, GLP slows gastric emptying, which is the time it takes for food to go from the stomach to the intestine. OXM is released after a meal based on caloric intake. OXM slows gastric emptying and reduces food intake. Glucagon is released during energy expenditure and promotes the breakdown of glycogen to reduce glucose in the blood. Glucagon is also shown to increase the amount of energy expenditure done and also increase satiety. Ghrelin is the only orexigenic hormone, which means it stimulates appetites. Levels are higher at fasting and low in obesity. Also, the word on the street is that ghrelin may have a neural connection to the stress-induced eating habits of comfort food. This means that ghrelin is released not only on a physiological need for food, but also emotional and psychological. Also, research is being done to bust the myth of low-fat diets. From the review article of Gut Hormones and Obesity by Gavin Buick, it states that diets high in fat have been shown to directly inhibit the hyperphagic effect of ghrelin, meaning that diets high in fat will actually suppress the ghrelin message of eat more food. So, why talk about gut hormones? Obesity. 2/3 of our nation is overweight. The magnitude of this problem affects 2 out of every 3 people in the United States, which brings about many health concerns. Right now in the United States, obesity is a comorbidity with many diseases, including any advancement in obesity treatment will drastically reduce the risk of these health diseases. Because gut hormones regulate food intake and energy expenditure, they have been a huge focus on the treatment of obesity. Next, Tyler will explain more on the diagnosis and treatment of obesity and gut hormones.